It is time to get up with the NFL wheeling and dealing, where the D in Big D stands for drama. Why one pending proposition could derail Dallas's entire offseason. Meanwhile, does AJ need his Philadelphia freedom? One voice you trust says yes, he's on his way out of town. Plus, more late game lousy for the Lakers. Wait till you hear what the smart money says their fate is when the playoffs get underway. All that and more as we get up with you starting right now. Yes. The applause a tad muted because I am all by myself, but by no means alone this morning. We've got great squads put together to talk football and basketball. Look at the crew in Indianapolis, all fresh off the cocktail sauce last night. And you can interpret that any way you wish. Graziano and Riddick and Tannenbaum are up, and Winman is up, and Joe Fortenbaugh is ready to go. Monica will join us. Let's start it last night with the Lakers and the Suns in Phoenix last night. Lakers trailed in this game by as many as 12, but they are fighting their way back. Under 4 minutes to go in the fourth. Lakers down by 8, and it's Luka Doncic cutting further into it. That's a 5-point game. Now watch a little 360 spin. He had 41. Lakers cut it to 2. Minute left to play. Lakers down by 3. Austin Reeves on the wing. He had 14. That one ties it at 108. 30 seconds left. Lakers down a deuce. Marcus Smart. Left hand. No good. LeBron James. That's good. He had 15. We're tied up. 10 seconds left. Give me the call.
And here they are putting. Coffee comes up to set the screen. Allen gets a switch with Doncic stepping out. Grayson on the drive. Drops it off. Touch pass. O'Neal. Lets it fly. Boom! Rolls Royce from downtown.
Give the Suns credit. Short-handed.
The Suns broadcast with the call. Royce O'Neal with the dagger 3. Lakers get this one last chance, and it's a good look for Austin Reeves. But it's off the back of the rim, and that's all she wrote. Suns win it 113-110. Another clutch time tough loss for J.J. Redick and the Lakers.
I would say this. We talk about this as a staff. Like, our losses are louder than other teams because we're the Lakers and because of the way we lose. You know, you get this deep in the season. And, again, tonight was a one-possession clutch game, which, you know, now we've, you know, lost a few of those. But we've been great for the most part in the clutch all year. Our losses are louder. I would say, so we had some adversity tonight. Did we not respond?
I suppose we could say they responded. Monica is up with us, and we've got her satellite working. The Windman is here, and Joe Fortenbaugh. The Lakers, as we speak, are sitting in the 6th spot in the West. They are 1 game ahead of Phoenix for what would be the first play-in spot. Windy, was this a sound the alarms kind of night for the Lakers?
No, I think the way JJ said it there is about right. This is kind of who the Lakers are. They're a flawed team. You know, they're a very poor defensive team. You know, for example, the Suns, in the last 10 games, they were 30th in the league in offense, 30th, and they get 113 points here. And if you look at this last play, this is the Lakers. The Suns specifically run a play to isolate Luka Doncic on defense because he's a very weak defender. They attack him, and the entire Lakers defense collapses because they have no basket defender. Because, watch LeBron come run here. He's like, oh my God, we got to help. And they're caught in transition. This happened the entire night. This is an indication of the flawed Lakers roster. And if you say to me, well then why did they build this team? Well, they built this team because they thought Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reeves would be just so killer on offense that you wouldn't have these situations. And they just ain't. They're a poor defensive team where their 3 best offensive players when they play together. And this is not an insult to Luka. It's not an insult to LeBron. It's not saying they hate each other. It's not like some headline thing. They are too similar to each other. And the data shows it. When they play, Greeny, they're a bad team. They're a bad offensive team. So this is really just a product of what they are. Early in the season, they pretty much won every clutch game. They won their first 13 clutch games. But it was a fake. It was a fake record. And now the worm is turning on them. And JJ set up great offensive plays the last 2 games to get shots at the end of the games. Beautiful job by the coaching staff. You don't win all the clutch games. Yeah. So you don't get into clutch games. They're just an average team, and they're going to blow it up in the offseason, and everybody knows this, and we'll just go through the process and enjoy it.
So the future is going to be interesting for the Lakers, and Luka will be the center of that. But the immediate future was what I wanted to ask Joe about. Joe, I was looking at your notes, and there was a best bet that I found fascinating. Go.
Yeah, they play soft. I'd bet they miss the playoffs. I know that sounds crazy, and people will say, well, look at this, look at that. It's not a coin flip situation. They're offering us 10-1. What does 10-1 mean? It means 9%. So ask yourself, is there a greater than, less than, or equal to 9% chance of them missing the playoffs? I think it's greater than that. I think Phoenix gets past them and pushes them into the play-in. And once they're there, wouldn't be surprised if they completely implode and pack it in. They're a team that doesn't play any defense, as Wendy was telling you, 24th in defensive rating. Through 58 games, I believe it is this season, they have a negative point differential and a negative net rating. They're 19th in net rating. They play soft defense. Can you get DeAndre Ayton to play consistent for you night in and night out? Do you have leadership? Are you going to make a big push down the stretch? You offer me 10-1 that they miss the playoffs, I'll take that bet, Greeny.
10-1 that they missed the playoffs. Again, losing in the play-in constitutes missing the playoffs. So that makes that an interesting bet. The playoffs
Correct.
do not include the play-in. While we think of those as playoff games, they don't technically count as playoff games. Does that sound right, Wendy? Are we living in a world where the playoffs are going to begin in late April and LeBron James and Luka Doncic are not going to be a part of them?
I think they will make the playoffs. However, again, just like with what JJ said, I take issue with none of what Joe said there. I think that is an absolute fair assessment of the situation. They are not a good team. They were overachieving when they were in, third and fourth place. I will say this, their schedule left in the season is not that bad. They have a favorable schedule. They play a number of tanking teams. The teams around them in the Western Conference are largely losing. The middle of the West right now is sort of a graveyard. So it's certainly not insurmountable. I would say that they would make the playoffs, but they're not going anywhere in the playoffs. And it's, again, 10-1. I think Joe is offering very sound advice there.
Okay, guys, stay with me here, and we'll get Monica working as the morning continues. Much more hoops, but let's go to